Well, hello, Texoma Southern family and friends. Well, today is Friday of Passion Week, and a multitude of activities and events happened on this day. The text that you'd want to go and read are Matthew 26, verse 57, all the way through 27, verse 66. Mark 14:43, all the way through 15:47. Luke 22:54 through Luke 23:56, and then John 18 all the way through John 19 verse 42. Again, there are so many events that are happening in this time span of approximately anywhere from 15 to 18 hours. And today, I just wanted to talk of the time when Jesus was taken during this time span. John's gospel is a great help of telling us about where Jesus was taken, who he saw, along, of course, with the other gospels. But John gives us some things that the others does not. We need to remember that Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, and it was fairly late at night. Could have been after midnight. Could have been very late on Thursday night. John states that Jesus was first taken to Annas. Well, who's Annas? Annas was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who happened to be the high priest that year. And so it says that he had taken to Annas, probably had a small conversation with him there. And then from there, Annas would send him to his son-in-law, Caiaphas. And possibly there was also Caiaphas and the Sanhedrin, or possibly it was just Caiaphas, maybe some of his leadership with him. But what we do see is that eventually it's going to be Caiaphas and it's going to be the Sanhedrin, and that's in Matthew 26, verse 27. But all this is being done at night, and that's the one thing to remember. This was all illegal. There was not to be any trials being done at night. What they would pronounce as Jesus being guilty of, that is the Jewish religious leaders, is they would find Jesus guilty of blasphemy. And so when they did that, they sent him to Pilate early in the morning. And the reason why they sent him to Pilate the governor was the very fact that it was Pilate is the only one who could give the death penalty. And that is what the Jewish leaders wanted. You remember the Jewish leaders kept saying during the times that they was having a little conflict with Jesus early in the week, like on Monday and so forth, they kept saying, we can't kill Jesus, we can't arrest Jesus during the Passover. You know what's strange about all that is? The very thing they said they didn't want to do, they did. Very strange about that. But, so he was sent to Pilate, because Pilate could give the death penalty order. They had a conversation. Luke's Gospel, chapter 23, tells us that Pilate then sends Jesus over to Herod, because Herod had not met Jesus, and he wanted to have a little bit of time with him. So you read about that, and then back to Pilate, Jesus goes from Herod. Then Pilate, at this time, has Jesus and another prisoner, a guy by the name of Barabbas, and he takes them before and sets them before the people, because Pilate has the authority to release one of prisoners during the year, release them, pardon them, let them go. And he set it up before the people, and the crowd of people who were there, they wanted Barabbas to be freed, and they wanted Jesus crucified. Now, I don't think those were the same people back on Sunday who were laying down their coats, waving the palm branches. I think this was a whole different crowd. But what we see is that Barabbas is freed, and Jesus then is to be crucified. And so by this time, the sun is risen. It's still early in the morning. Pilate has Jesus scourged. That is, he has him whipped within an inch of his life with a cat of nine tails. And we see then that also not only is he beaten, scourged, he's also mocked, and he's also beaten by the guards, the soldiers at this time. And then from there, Jesus is taken to Golgotha, that is the place of the skull, and he's carrying his cross. And from what we understand, he doesn't make it himself by carrying it. That we read about Simon of Cyrene is pressed into service to carry Jesus' cross to the place of the skull, or Golgotha. There, Jesus is then crucified along with 2 other thieves or robbers, and this is all done before noon. And the reason why I say that is over in Mark's gospel, it tells us that at noontime, it gives a certain watch, which equated to noon. It said that at noontime, that darkness came across the land, and that would last for 3 hours. And this is during the time that Jesus is up on the cross. He's speaking a few words, but then at 3 o'clock, when evidently the darkness has passed, we see then that Jesus breathes his last, and that's according to Mark's gospel, that he's breathed his last. And folks, I just wanted to say this to you. That's approximately anywhere from 15 to 18 hours time span. There is no justice for Jesus. Illegal kangaroo courts, beatings. Normally, I heard just this morning that a prisoner, a Jewish prisoner, usually had a trial that lasted anywhere from 5, 6, 7, 8 months. And yet Jesus was arrested and crucified within a 24-hour time span. Jesus' death was approximately 3 p.m. The Sabbath was about to begin at sundown, so we can say approximately 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours. And Jesus was laid in a tomb by sundown, thanks to 2 people, Joseph of Arimathea, who asked Pilate to have permission to go get the body of Jesus, to give him respect of putting him into a grave. And then we understand that possibly Nicodemus may have helped him on that. And folks, I just want to say this. As bad as it got, there's glory coming on Sunday. Jesus arose from the grave, and we celebrate the Easter Sunday. So I just want to let you know, sometimes there's some darkness in your life. Sometimes there's some times that it's just hard to bear. But understand this, if you've got Jesus Christ in your life, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is glory to be shared, because we shall, at some time, we shall be with him forever and ever in heaven with God the Father, Christ the Son, and the other saints and so forth. So I encourage you, if you don't have a place to watch a church service, watch us on Sunday morning at approximately 10:30. We'll have our service up on our Facebook page, Texoma Southern SBC Elijah Paul. This is going to be the end of these little videos for Passion Week. I've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a blessed Easter weekend. And always remember, keep the faith. Have a great day.